Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about the real magic that goes into your favorite movies, TV shows, or video games? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and put a spotlight on the unseen stars, the technical experts who make it all happen. Let's get right into it.
So I gotta ask, when you think about who really makes a movie, your mind probably jumps to the director, or maybe the big-name actors, right? And for a video game, you're thinking of the lead designer. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real story is so much bigger, and honestly, way cooler.
See, making any kind of media is a massive team sport. It takes a whole crew of, technical wizards, each one a master of their own craft. So, for this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to assemble our very own production crew piece by piece, so you can see how it all fits together. First on our list, we got to get the visuals.
All right, Section 1, capturing the visuals. You can think of this as the eyes of the whole production. Everything starts with what we see on screen, right? This is where the artists and technicians live, the people responsible for capturing every single frame that you end up watching. So let's meet the first person we're recruiting for our crew.
First up, we've got the camera operator. Seriously, think of this person as the director's hands. They're the one physically operating the camera, working side by side with the director of photography to get every single shot. They're not just pointing and shooting, They're translating a vision, an idea, into actual moving images, frame by single frame.
And this is way more than just hitting record. The way the camera moves is a huge part of the storytelling. They'll use a tripod for those rock-solid, stable shots. They'll use track and dolly systems to create those super smooth, epic movements that just pull you right into a scene. But then, for those really intense, gritty moments, they might go handheld. That gives you that raw, almost documentary feeling that puts you smack in the middle of the action. Every single move is a deliberate choice.
Okay, so our camera operator just handed us hours and hours of footage. Now what? Who's going to turn all these puzzle pieces into a single coherent picture? Well, it's time to bring in our video editor. This person is the ultimate storyteller of post-production. They don't just stick clips together, they shape the rhythm, the tension, the entire emotional journey of the story just by choosing which take to use and for how long.
And their job is so crucial, mainly because filming almost never happens in order. The very last scene of a movie could be shot on the very first day. So the video editor has to go through everything, pick the absolute best takes, arrange all the jumbled up scenes into the correct sequence, and work right alongside the director to craft the pace and feel of the final story. They are literally building the movie from scratch.
So we've got our visuals locked down. But come on, a great movie is just as much about what you hear as what you see. So let's move on to the next department on our list. It's time to recruit the crew that builds the entire soundscape.
Now, sound is really a two-part job, so we need two different specialists here. First, you've got the audio technician. This person is on set during filming. They're basically the camera operator for sound, making sure they capture clean, crisp dialogue and all that background noise. Then, after filming is done, the sound editor takes over in post-production. They're like the video editor for sound. They clean everything up, mix the levels, and add all those critical sound effects, from tiny footsteps to massive explosions. One captures the raw ingredients, the other cooks the final meal.
Okay, our film crew is looking pretty solid. But what about interactive stuff like video games or websites? For that, we need a totally different kind of technical wizard. So let's switch gears and recruit the architects who build these digital worlds from the ground up with nothing but code.
So let's meet the game's programmer, sometimes just called a developer. If you've ever played a video game, you have experienced their work firsthand. These are the people who write these massive, complex lines of computer code that are basically the game's DNA. They control literally everything you see and do on the screen. And this slide really shows you just how deep their job goes. They code everything, how your character moves, how objects in the world react, and then you get into the really specialized stuff. For example, they might be programming the artificial intelligence, the AI, that makes an enemy in a game smart enough to flank you or run for cover. Or they could be a physics programmer, making sure every jump, every crash, and every collision just feels right and realistic. It's incredible stuff. And to round out our digital team, we have the web developer. Now, just like a games programmer, they're a coder, but their canvas is the internet. Every single time you click a button on a website or watch a video or fill out a form, you are interacting with their work. They're the ones who build the site's entire structure, making sure it's not just functional and fast, but that it also works perfectly, whether you're on your phone, a tablet, or a big desktop computer.
All right, our crew is officially assembled. We've got our visual experts, our sound specialists, and our digital architects. But, just having a bunch of talented individuals isn't enough. The real magic happens when you see how they all work together.
And this is the most important thing to remember. Great media is never made by just one person. It's made by many specialists working together as one. Every single role depends on the others. A brilliant video editor can't do anything with blurry footage, right? And a genius sound editor can't fix audio that was muffled on set. It's a true collaboration, like a symphony where every single instrument has to play its part perfectly for the music to sound right.
You can kind of break down the workflow into 3 simple steps. First, you have the people who capture the raw material. That's your camera operator and your audio technician. Then you move into post-production, where the video editor and the sound editor start to shape all that raw stuff into a real story. And finally, all of those efforts combine to create that polished final product that we all get to sit back and enjoy.
So, the big takeaway here is that these technical roles, they aren't just jobs. They are incredibly skilled, artistic disciplines. Behind every powerful movie scene, every immersive game world, and every smooth website, there's a whole team of dedicated technical artists. You might never see their names in lights, but you experience their work every single day.
Which brings us to a final question for you. The next time you watch a movie or play a game, now that you know about the crew, what are you going to notice first? Will it be the subtle camera movement in a tense scene, the perfectly placed sound effect that makes you jump, or maybe the clever AI in a game that actually outsmarts you? The work of these unseen stars is absolutely everywhere once you know how to look for it.